Hello dear students, welcome to Fix Online Session. So today we are here to discuss about that alternating current. So let me know about that, what is that alternating current, if that alternating current is passes to the resistors, inductor and capacitor, what are the changes get occurs we will study in today's class. So let me begins with the concept alternating current. Alternating current. So what is that alternating current here? So basically we know that, so alternating current means the current which changes its direction for every half of the cycle. So what's that alternating current? It changes its direction for every half of the cycle. For every half of the cycle. So in case of that alternating current, so from that AC generator we got that expression for that alternating current. So what's that equation? E is equal to E naught sine of omega into T. So V is equal to V naught sine of omega into T. So where E naught represents that maximum or peak voltage. Maximum or peak voltage. Okay. So from the concept of that alternating current, we can understand that root means square value of alternating current and alternating voltage. So RMS value of alternating voltage. Alternating voltage. So what is the mathematical expression for this? So root means square value of alternating voltage. So VRMS is equal to V naught divided by root 2, where V naught means peak value or maximum value, VRMS means root means square value, or 1 by root 2. So that value is V is equal to V naught 0.70. So this is the expression for that. Root means square value of alternating voltage. Similarly, root means square value of alternating current. So RMS value, root mean square value of alternating current here. So root means square value of alternating current. So that equation IRMS is equal to I naught divided by root 2, or 1 by root 2 value is 0.70. So this is the expression for root mean square value of alternating current. So for example, when alternating current is applied to the resistor, is there any phase difference between current or voltage? I need to understand here. For example, this is one resistor element. So when that alternating voltage is passes to that resistor here, what about the alternating current? Whether that current and voltage are in the same phase or in the opposite phase, I need to understand. So for that purpose I derived that expression. So finally I get that. So alternating voltage value is V is equal to V naught sine of omega into T. Alternating current value is I is equal to I naught sine of omega into T. So from these equations, so we come to know that current and voltage are in the same phase in case of a resistance. So whenever that alternating current is, whenever that alternating voltage is passes to that of resistance here, current and voltage are in the same phase. So it means that there is no phase difference between current and voltage here. So I can write here no phase difference. No phase difference. So it means that current and voltage are in the same phase when that alternating voltage is applied to a resistor here. So now I will consider inductor here. Whenever that alternating voltage is passes through an inductor, so alternating voltage is V is equal to V naught sine of omega into T. So after deriving the expression, so current through the inductor I can get it here. So I is equal to I naught sine of omega into T minus of pi by 2. So look at here, This is the expression for current through the inductor. So what's that alternating voltage you supplied here? So supplied voltage V is equal to V naught sine of omega into T, but that current value is sine of omega into T minus pi by 2. So there exists a phase difference between current and voltage here. Voltage is omega into T, so current is omega into T minus pi by 2. So it means that whenever that alternating voltage is supplied to that of inductor here, there exists a phase difference between current and voltage. So I can say that current is lagging behind the voltage. Negative sign is there. Minus pi by 2 means current is lagging. Current is lagging behind the voltage. So current is lagging behind the voltage in case of inductor. In case of inductor. So in case of that inductor, which quantity is lagging here? Current is lagging behind the voltage. So now in case of that inductor, so I can understand that meaning of inductive reactance. So what's the mean of that inductive reactance here? So inductive reactance means, let me write it here, inductive reactance. It is represented by the symbol X of L. So inductive reactance means opposition offered by the inductor for the flow of current here. So that one I can consider as a inductive reactance. What is the mathematical expression for that inductive reactance here? X of L is equal to L omega. So what's that expression here? X of L is equal to L omega, where omega I can write it as a 2 pi into F here. So X of L is equal to 2 pi into F here. So look at here. So in case of that inductor, when alternating voltage is supplied to an inductor, there exists a phase difference between voltage and current here. That phase difference is 90 degrees. So I can conclude that current is lagging behind the voltage when alternating voltage is passes through that inductor here. So in case of that inductor, I need to understand the term inductive reactance here. So what's that inductive reactance here? So inductive reactance means opposition offered by the flow of current in case of inductor. So or in the other sense I can say inductive reactance means opposition offered by the inductor for the flow of AC current. So X of L is equal to L omega, where L in the sense inductor, omega means angular velocity or frequency. In terms of frequency I can say 2 pi into F here, where F indicates that frequency here. So from this equation I can extend the topic. So how much opposition offered by the inductor for that AC current and for the DC current I can understand here. So look at here. Next we'll look at that whether inductor allows AC current or DC current I can understand by that inductive reactance concept. So look at here. What's that value? I get it here. So X of L is equal to what? 2 pi into F. So look at here. For DC current, what is the frequency? For DC current, frequency is 0. Look at here. For DC current, F is 0. So frequency is 0 means what about the inductive reactance here? Inductive reactance is 0. It means that so inductor does not make any kind of opposition for the flow of DC current here. So it means that DC current can easily pass over the inductor. So it means that inductor does not make opposition for the flow of DC current. So that is inductor does not make any opposition for flow of DC current. So it means that direct current can easily pass through the inductor here. So for that AC current, so for AC current frequency having certain kind of finite value. It has some finite value. So X of L is equal to finite. So it means that inductor makes a certain kind of opposition for the flow of AC current here. So for the DC current, it doesn't make any kind of opposition, but for the flow of AC current, inductor makes certain kind of opposition for the flow of AC current. So that is what? So there exists a EMF in the coil here. So look at here, in order to induce the EMF in this coil, so this coil must make opposition for the flow of current. So out of AC current and DC current, out of two current, so inductor does not make any kind of opposition for flow of DC current, means so there is no induced EMF for DC current. So when the EMF is induced in the coil, only when if you send that AC current, so for that AC current it has certain kind of frequency here. So it has some frequency, means it has some inductive reactance. So its inner meaning is, so when that alternating current is try to pass through the inductor, inductor makes a certain kind of opposition. So it means that, so EMF is induced in the inductor only for AC current but not for DC current. So why? Because so for DC current there is no opposition, so there is no EMF for DC current. So EMF is induced in case of the inductor only for AC current here. So now I can understand by graphical method here. So for example, as the frequency of that AC current is increases, along x-axis I will take that frequency, along y-axis I will take that inductive reactance. So frequency versus inductive reactance. As the frequency increases, what about the inductive reactance? So both are directly proportional here. So x of L is equal to 2 pi into F. So x of L is directly proportional to F, means I will get that linear graph here. So these are all the informations related to inductor. So now let me consider that capacitor here. So in case of that capacitor, if alternating voltage is passed through the capacitor, what about the value of alternating current? I need to understand first. So later on, again, if I send that direct current through the capacitor, or if I send that alternating current through the capacitor, what will be its opposition? I have to understand. So next look at here about the capacitor. Okay. So whereas resistance, inductor and capacitor, so these are all the basic elements. So on these basic elements, if I supply that alternating voltage for the resistor, for the inductor, for the capacitor, how it respond for the alternating voltage? So we are looking for that. So for example, so this one is one capacitor. So for this capacitor, if suppose if you supply that alternating voltage, so V is equal to V naught sine of omega into t. So what about that alternating current value? So after deriving, so I will get this equation, I is equal to I naught sine of omega into t plus of pi by 2. So look at here, again there exists a phase difference between voltage and current here. So look at here, when that alternating voltage is supplied to the capacitor, so then there exists again that phase difference between current and voltage here. So look at here, here omega into t, here omega into t plus pi by 2. So again there exists a phase difference of pi by 2. Then out of voltage and current, so now here which one is lagging, which one is leading? So in case of inductor, so omega into t minus pi by 2 I get it. So it means that negative sign means so current is lagging. But in case of that capacitor, plus pi by 2 is there. So what it means here? Current is leading here. So look at here. So in case of capacitor, current is, or current leads the voltage. Current leads the voltage by an angle of pi by 2 degree here. So in case of that capacitor, again there exists a phase difference between current and voltage, but in case of that capacitor, current is leading, voltage is lagging. But in case of that inductor, current is lagging and voltage is leading. So in case of capacitor, so phase difference is pi by 2. So now let me look at that capacitive reactance. Capacitive reactance, it is represented by the symbol X of C here. So what is the mathematical expression for that capacitive reactance? So X of C is equal to 1 divided by L into omega, where omega I can rewrite as 2 pi into F. So what is that expression for that capacitive reactance here? X of C is equal to 1 divided by L into 2 pi of F. So for DC current, what is the frequency here? Frequency is 0. So X of C is equal to what? 1 by 0 here. 1 by 0 means what? Infinite. So it means that capacitors make infinite opposition for the flow of DC current. So it means that capacitor won't allow that DC current here. So did you get my point? So for DC current, frequency is 0 means what about the capacitive reactance? So capacitive reactance means what first? Opposition offered by the capacitor for the flow of AC current. So X of C is equal to 1 by 0. So 1 by 0 means infinite here. So capacitive reactance for the DC current is infinite. So its physical meaning is capacitor does not allow the flow of DC current. So for AC current, so look at here. For AC current, so AC current having certain kind of finite value here. So look at here. X of C is equal to 1 by finite. So 1 by finite means you will get that small number here. So it means that opposition offered for the flow of AC current in case of capacitor is very much small. So it means that capacitor allows only AC current but not DC current. So it means that is capacitor allow only AC current. Okay, so now let me understand that what is that graphical nature for that capacitor, frequency versus, okay, so frequency versus service thing, so capacitive reactance. So look at here, as the frequency increases, so as the frequency inversely proportional, so as the frequency increases, what about that capacitive reactance here? So as the frequency increases, capacitive reactance will get decreases here. So what's the nature of graph? So this is the nature of graph. Why? Because capacitive reactance is inversely proportional to frequency, whereas inductive reactance is directly proportional to frequency. So this is the nature of graph for capacitor. So this is the nature of graph in case of capacitor, frequency versus capacitive reactance. Now, so I have three elements here: resistance, inductor and capacitor. If these three elements are connected in series combination, what will be the effective opposition offered by inductor, capacitor and resistance for the flow of AC current? I have to understand. So that effective opposition offered by inductor, capacitor and resistance for the flow of AC current, we can call it as a impedance here. So now let me understand the concept of impedance. So what's that impedance here? So for example, I'm having three elements here. So inductor, capacitors and resistors. If these three elements are connected in series combination, what will be its effective opposition? I can find out here. So look at here, LCR circuit I can say in other words. So this is inductor, this is capacitor and LCR. These three components are connected in series combination, end of it is connected to bat. So V is equal to V naught sine of omega into T. Now let me find out that, so potential difference across the inductor is V of L, across the capacitor is V of C, across the resistor is V of R. So if I draw that phasor diagram, so look at here, roughly I will draw that phasor diagram. So this is origin. So for example, along that x-axis I will take that voltage across the resistor, and along y-axis voltage, positive axis voltage across the inductor and voltage across the capacitor. So these two are equal, means these two are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. So I can take that resultant between V of L and V of C. So for example, so this is point A means, so for example this is point B and this one is point C here. So resultant between O to V of L and O to V of C, so that is O to D I can consider. So that The distance between O to D is represents that. So what it represents here? Resultant between V of L and V of C. So I can take that V of L minus of V of C. So now I got that two component here. So what are those components here? One is V of R. Sorry, look at here. One is V of R here. Another one is V of L minus of V of C. So what's that impedance? I can understand. So impedance means effective opposition offered by inductor, capacitor and resistance for the flow of AC current. So that equation, so that expression after deriving. So Z is equal to square root of R square plus of X of L minus of X of C whole square, or I can rewrite in other form. So X of L means L omega, X of C means 1 divided by L omega square, so whole square here. So this is the required expression for that impedance here. So what is that impedance here? Effective opposition offered by inductor, capacitor and resistance for the flow of AC current here. So now in case of that inductor, so for example, I can understand that phase difference here. So from this diagram, shall I take the tan phi value? So opposite divided by adjacent here. So opposite value is V of L minus of V of C. Adjacent value is V of R. V of L minus of V of C divided by R. V means, so from that Ohm's law, V is equal to I into R. Here resistance in case of that inductor, so that is inductive reactance. Resistance in case of capacitor, so that is capacitive reactance. Sorry, V of R, so that is I into R. So tan of phi is equal to X of L minus X of C divided by R. What's that final equation? I get it here. Tan of phi is equal to X of L minus of X of C divided by R. So this is the required expression for that phase difference here, or in terms of cos value. So cos phi is equal to what? So cos phi is equal to what? So adjacent by hypotenuse I can consider. So hypotenuse value is what? So this is impedance, hypotenuse. So cos phi is equal to R by Z here. R divided by Z means impedance value, square root of R square plus X of L minus X of C whole square. So now look at here. If suppose if inductive reactance is equal to capacitive reactance, so if X of L is equal to X of C, so this situation I can call it as a resonant frequency. So what suppose I can call here at resonant condition or resonant frequency. So what's that mean of that resonant frequency here? So resonant frequency means maximum current in LCR circuit when that inductive reactance is equal to capacitive reactance. When that maximum current will flow into the circuit here, when that inductive reactance is equal to capacitive reactance, then there exists a maximum current in LCR circuit. So for particular frequency there is a maximum current in LCR circuit. So remember here, so for particular one frequency there is a maximum current in LCR circuit. So that particular frequency I can call it as a resonant frequency. So look at here, at particular frequency there exists a maximum current in LCR circuit. In LCR circuit, if you get that maximum current, means there must be a inductive reactance value must be equal to capacitive reactance. So if that inductive reactance value is equal to capacitive reactance, means impedance formula. So look at here, square root of R square plus of X of L minus X of C, both are equal, X of L minus X of L, so that is 0 here. So impedance is equal to resistance. So look at here, at resonance condition or at resonance frequency, impedance is equal to resistance. So why? Because at resonant frequency inductive reactance is equal to capacitive reactance. So if that inductive reactance is equal to capacitive reactance, means Z is equal to R. Suppose this is the first case. In that second case, so if suppose if X of L is very much greater than that of X of R, so that is inductive dominant circuit. So capacitance value, so our x of R value is 0 here. So if that x of C value is 0, so if that capacitive reactance value is 0 means, so Z is equal to, it is purely, so what kind of circuit? So that circuit consists of resistance R square plus of x of L whole square. So this circuit is RL circuit. So look at here in that LCR circuit. So if that if that capacitive reactance is very much small, or if that inductive reactance is very large means, so x of C value is 0. So this equation becomes Z is equal to square root of R square plus of x of L whole square. So this circuit is RL circuit. Suppose if x of C is greater than x of L. So look at here, x of C is greater than x of L. So in that situation, x of L value is equal to 0. If x of L value is equal to 0 means Z is equal to square root of R square plus of x of C whole square. So this circuit is RC circuit. So what type of circuit it is? So this circuit is RC circuit. Now next we'll look at that. So resonant frequency. Resonant frequency. So what's that resonant frequency? There exists a maximum current in LCR circuit for particular frequency. So x of L is equal to x of R. What's the condition for resonant frequency here? X of L is equal to x of R. Then F naught, or F is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi into square root of L into C, where L represent that inductor, where C represent that capacitor here. So from the resonant frequency we can understand that Q factor or quality factor here. So Q factor means it is the ratio of inductive reactance to that of resistance, or we can consider it is the ratio of capacitive reactance to that of resistance. Mathematical expression for Q factor is Q is equal to 1 by R into square root of L by C here. What is that mathematical expression here? So Q is equal to 1 by R into square root of, so L by C here. So this is the required expression for that Q factor or quality factor. Or another way I can define that, it is the ratio of bandwidth to that of resistance. So Q is equal to omega into L divided by R. So this is the expression for that quality factor. So Q factor means it is the ratio of inductive or capacitive reactance to that of resistance, or one more equation I can say Q is equal to bandwidth divided by resistance, so omega into L divided by R. So from that inductor, capacitor and resistor, so I can understand that concept of power factor here. So power factor in case of resistors, capacitor and inductors. So I am having generalized formula. So P average is equal to Vrms into Irms into cos phi. So from this generalized formula I can understand that what is the power loss or power factor in case of inductor, capacitor and resistor. So for resistance or for resistor, what is that angle between current and voltage in the resistor? Both are exist in the same phase. So phase difference is 0 degree. Cos 0 means what? 1. So cos 0 means 1. So in the sense, so power loss in case of inductor is P average is equal to Vrms into Irms. So look at here. What is the power loss in case of a resistor here? So when that alternating current passes through the resistor, power loss is equal to root mean square value of alternating voltage and root mean square value of alternating current. So remember here, so there exists a power loss in case of a resistor. So for inductor, so look at here. For inductor, what is that angle between current and voltage? So pi by 2. So V is equal to V naught sine of omega into T. So and current I is equal to I naught sine of omega t minus pi by 2. So phase difference is 90 degree. Cos 90 means what? 0. So then what is the power loss in case of inductor? So in case of inductor there is no power loss. So look at here, there is no power loss in case of inductor if you pass that alternating voltage. So similarly in case of capacitor, so for capacitor, so again for capacitor also phase difference is 90 degree, so power loss in case of capacitor also 0. So look at here, out of three elements, resistor, inductor and capacitor, there exists a power loss only in case of resistor, but in case of inductor and capacitor there is no power loss. So look at here, power loss formula, generalized formula is Vrms into Irms into cos phi. So depends on the angle I can consider. So here in case of resistor angle is 0, but in case of inductor and capacitor angle is 90 degree. So power loss is exist only in case of resistor, there is no power loss in case of inductor and capacitor. So that is what I can say that. So inductor and capacitor is a basic element of AC circuit, whereas resistor is a basic element of DC circuit here. So now in case of that alternating current, so for example I need to step up or step down the signal. So in order to step up or step down the signal, so we'll use one device. So that device is transformer. So what's that transformer here? So transformer is a device which is used to step up or step down the alternating voltage here. So on which principle it step ups or step down the signal here? It works on the principle of mutual inductance. So now let me consider about that transformer. So what is that transformer here? Transformer is a device which is used to step up or step down the alternating voltage. So in case of step up transformer, so this is primary coil and another one is secondary coil I can take. So in case of that step up transformer, number of turns in secondary coil should be greater than the number of turns in primary coil. So look at here, number of turns in secondary coil is greater than the primary coil in case of step up transformer. So in case of step up transformer, number of turns in the secondary coil is greater, and in case of step down transformer, primary coil, and one more is secondary coil. In case of that step down transformer, number of turns in the secondary coil is less than that of primary coil. In step up transformer, number of turns in secondary coil is large, and in case of step down transformer, number of turns in the secondary coil is less. So from that Faraday experiment, so E is equal to minus of d phi by dt here. So N into d phi by dt. EMF in the secondary coil is equal to number of turns in the secondary coil into d phi by dt, and EMF in the primary coil is equal to number of turns in the primary coil into d phi by dt. If I divide these two equations, d phi by dt term will getting cancelled out. E of S divided by E of P is equal to what? N of S divided by N of P. So as the number of turns increases, EMF is also increases. So in case of step up transformer or step down transformer, I said that it is used to step up or step down the alternating voltage. But what about that input power and output power, whether that power is getting changes or not? So power will be remains same. So it means that input power is equal to output power. So look at here. So from that conservation of energy, so input power is always equal to output power here. So if that input power is equal to output power means, so power P is equal to what? V into I. So input power means P of I, output power means P of output power. P is equal to V into I. So V means, so here E or V, both are same. EMF in the primary coil. So E means EMF in the primary coil, and I means current in the primary coil, I of P. So next EMF in the secondary coil. So current in the secondary coil. So look at here. Shall I take that ratio here? E of S divided by E of P. So E of S divided by E of P is equal to what? I of P divided by I of S here. So what it means here, in case of that in case of that transformer, so EMF in the secondary coil is inversely proportional to current in the secondary coil. So current and EMF both are inversely proportional. So in case of step up transformer, it is used to increase that alternating voltage here. So in case of step up transformer, alternating voltage is increases, means what about its current here? Current value will get decreases here. So look at here, in case of step up transformer, number of turns in the secondary coil is greater than the primary coil, EMF in the secondary coil is greater than the primary coil, but current in the secondary coil is less than that of primary coil. So hope you are understanding these things. For example, in case of step down transformer, number of turns in the secondary coil is less than that of primary coil. So EMF in the secondary coil is less than that of primary coil. But in case of step down transformer, so current in the secondary coil is greater than that of primary coil. So these are all the things you need to understand in case of a transformer here. So why? Because input power is always is equal to output power.